गुड आफ्टरनून सर। सर जो मोर सेक्शन 12 रे क्लास अच्छी। हाँ सर से गोटे प्रेजेंटर अच्छा हो सर ठीक है। थैंक यू सर। हाँ हाँ मुझे लिखी देती ऑलरेडी। हाँ 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 सर। हाँ ठीक है सर ठीक है असुविधा नहीं मुझे। Okay, please make me as please organizer. Please make me as presenter so that I can share my presentation. Okay, so today we will start. Okay, thank you, sir. Yes, so I will share my presentation. So today we will learn more about methods, how to invoke those methods after instantaneous object, and we will also cover static methods and static variables. Okay, so we will see this one example here. Okay, so last class I have already told about how to invoke a method that is defined inside a class, and also described about constructor, default constructor I have told you, and how to write that default constructor and how to initialize the class variables. Okay, using constructor. Now similarly, you can see here there are two other methods. Okay, so there are two other methods that is defined inside student class. One is get student details and get student of subjects. So what are those methods? So first get student details. It will in your class we have student class, you define three variables, that is name, roll number and subject ID. So it will return student name. Okay, if you pass argument as a roll number to this method, then it will return student name. For that purpose you have defined this method, public string get student details, and another method get student subjects. Okay, so what it does, it will take a roll number as argument to this method and it will return subject ID. Okay, so now inside main method we declare a student object kept small s and class name students. Suppose student is equal to new student, and we will use new operator and we will instantiate this object. Now the roll number will be 1 2 3 4 5 and his name will be ABC, capital ABC, and then subject ID will be 1. Okay, after instantiating or creating the object, I will call the method, both these method get student details and get student subject. Okay, so let's see next slide. Yes, here you can see. Okay, yes, so this student, small student, the variable called as object reference, and we have, suppose we will mark this. Okay, this student. Okay, and what is the class type? Student, and we'll call this instantiated with this using this constructor. The constructor will take three arguments. One is roll number and student name ABC and subject ID 1. Now once the student object has been created, how do I call that method? So I will call that method student dot get student details and roll number will be passed. That will be integer type. So I will simply pass 1 2 3 4 5, and then it will return that the student name will be ABC. Similarly, I will call, suppose I want to know what is the student with roll number 1 2 3 5, what will be his subject ID. Okay, so how will I pass? I will simply invoke this method student using dot operator dot get student subject. I will pass this roll number, then this method will return integer number, that will be 1 will be returned. So how do you return this one? But we have not written inside this those method. So how do you return this method? Okay, So this how do you define this thing? So how do you get those information? Okay. Now here in the instead of parent statements, what should I write? That it should return the student name. Okay. So how do you write? I will write simply return name. Okay. So what is this name? What is name? This name is already we have defined in the student class. Okay. So this is you have declared. Okay. This class variable define is name. So I will simply return this string name, this name. And what about subject ID? So inside that I will simply return this subject ID. What I have created, I will simply return. So int subject 1. So here what shall I write? So instead of inside this method, I will simply write return subject 1 underscore ID. That's it. Okay. So whenever you have created the student objects with this constructor, okay, so this value will be set by roll number will equal to as 1 2 3 4 5, name equal to ABC, and subject ID will be this. So after this has been created, now if I want to know what is my subject one ID or name, I'll simply put you can call student dot subject ID. Instead of that, I have written two methods. One is get string get details and get student subjects, and this will return the class variable name and subject ID subsequently. Then we will get those information. I think till this part it is clear to all of you. Okay, we will see some example with ID also, using our Eclipse ID in the lab also when we are going to do. For today's just go through this one. Okay, then I will cover static variable and static method, how to invoke those methods. Okay, anything? Okay, so this already have done. Okay, yes, now we are going to know how to invoke static data and methods and its instantiation, how to create those, how to get those things. So why do you need those static data and static methods? First of all, how to call those methods. Okay, so first of all, first part, that is simple object creation, default constructor, other constructor, okay, passing different arguments to the class, and then how to invoke class methods, those are covered. Okay, any doubt till that point, just let me know. Then we will move to static method or static data, static variable. Okay. Please raise your hand. Yes.
Sir, sir, is it necessary that every time when you're means giving any input to the constructors, is it necessary to first make us a variable and then on the next line we'll give that input, or directly we can give, or directly at the same time we can give it.
Wait, wait, I can't hear you. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Somebody is saying something. Yes, yes,
Hello?
Jagmohan.
Yes, sir, I was just asking.
Yes. What are you asking? Yes, what are you
Sir,
asking?
I was just asking that is it necessary that we will give
You will create method. For that example
no
purpose,
sir.
yes, yes.
Sir, I was asking in that constructor, so do we need to first create the variables, then after that on the next line we will assign the values, or at the same line we can also assign it.
Okay, so this is a question to doubt you. Okay, you unmute your mic. Mm. Okay, first of all, what we have done, we have created a object with three arguments using that constructor already. What can you do? You can create a simple object student equals to student. Let me share. Yes, that can also be done. But what we have created, we have created a constructor using three arguments: name, roll number, and its subject ID. And there we have already initialized those variables. Roll number equals to 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Name equals to ABC, and subject ID subject 1 underscore ID equal to 1. That already have initialized. Okay, instead of that we can do one thing. We can create a object. You can set the variable also. Okay, how do you set the variable? Student dot roll number equals to 1 2 3 4 5. You have to explicitly declare that, or you have to declare those variables as separately, like student dot roll number equals to 1 2 3 4 5. Student dot name equals to ABC, capital ABC, and then student dot subject 1 underscore ID equals to 1. Okay, you can declare that also. So I will show you how to declare that. After setting this value, once then you can also get this value. But for example purpose, I example how to create an object from instantiate object itself. Whenever you create the object, you can initialize those variable also. Okay, okay. Let me share the screen once again, and let me. Okay, so here. Okay, so we have created this constructor, and that there you have variables. Instead of that, we can do one thing. I will create student equals to new student. Now, if I will call, then all these variable will be roll number will be 0, and this string that will be default value will be there. So that will be null, string will be null, then 1, subject ID will be also 0. If I invoke student dot roll number, I want to print student roll number, then that will return 0. So after that, what will do? I student dot roll number, I have to initialize those separately. 5 semicolon, then student dot student dot name to string abc, then student. I will call this on the subject I am setting this value, and subject underscore id equals to 1. Okay, so this will be small, and yes. Okay, so this can you also do also, instead of calling the constructor, this constructor, you can set this value. Okay, later you will show how you can get set methods, so you can set methods also there, but here you can do that. Now I want to print student roll number, student name, and student subject id. Now since they have already set this value, then they will return the same value. If I will call student 1 2 3 4, suppose roll number will be 6 7 8 9, and suppose this is df, subject id will be suppose 10. Okay, so once I will call student dot roll number, it will return 6 7 8 9. Student dot name, I want to print these values inside math method, then the def will be written of student name, and so similar student subject 1 underscore id, then it will return 10. Okay, so this is how you will call this method, and then okay, so after that, suppose I will call that method student dot get subject details. Okay, so then that will return 6 7 8 9 def all this id 10. Okay, so I think this part is I think let me ask okay, any doubt till now, till this point? Okay, any doubt till now? Now where I can call these methods student dot get student details. I will pass roll number 6 7 8 9 or 1 2 3 4 5. You can try at your id, or if you are using online id. So I hope you all have installed Eclipse id in your machine. So please try to execute this thing. I will see in the lab or next lab class all this thing. Today I will explain on only this theory part. Next class I will see, and I will see what you have done. I will do some more exercise. Okay, then you can call this get student subjects also. Okay, on the same object student, small student. Okay, so this is J. Okay, so this is all about how to invoke method inside object. Now what happened to our what we have created in our lab, that main method? This is also method inside a class. You have created some class in this method, and how do you invoke that method? So for that purpose, we have to know what is the static method and static variable. Okay, so before that, from next class onwards or lab onwards, whenever the question is given to you, try to create a class and try to create separate method. Okay, whenever it is necessary, and then try to invoke those things and invoke those methods, and you put your logic there. Suppose I want to find sum of n numbers. So we will create a class, and inside that class we have to create a method edge sum of all numbers. Okay, inside that you will pass the argument like first index, last index, all these things, and try to write in this those way, class and methods. That will be very helpful to you writing those things using object oriented concept in your mind. Okay, and for next lab onwards you will try to write those things. I will check those things. Always try to create a class and then variables, then inside that you try to create these methods. Similarly, what I have created this get student details and get student update. Okay, to be more specific, we will see more examples in next class. Okay, today only you will see only those theory part. Okay, okay, I think this till this part there is no doubt. Let us move to static methods. Okay, so this is okay. So let me share my screen. Okay, so now how to start? Okay, how to write static data inside a class. So what is the static data or static method? Okay, so you know already the class variables and class methods. Those are bound to those class. Okay, and those variables like student's name, roll number, all these things, roll number, subject ID. Those are significant to only student class. Okay, so those describes features or attributes of student only. Okay, but in case of in some program we need some variable or some method that should be used to other class also, that should be helpful to other class. For that purpose you need static data and methods. Best example is so math.py. Okay, so whenever writing some okay, so in some problem I want to find the area or perimeter of a circle. Okay, you will see this example. Okay, in next class I will write this and so you have to do this. Okay, so in my Eclipse ID, and so today only you know the concept. Okay, and try to read those things from the book also. And if you have any data, any doubt or anything you want to clarify, need more clarification, you will see in the next class also. Okay, so what is math.py? So there I want to use that pi value, that is 12 by 7. Okay, that is a irrational number, that value. Okay, so that value I want to use some finding area or perimeter of a circle. So I want to create a class. Suppose I am finding area of a circle, so I will create a class as area of circle, a circle, simple circle. Then inside that I have to find area, create a method. So inside that method I need pi value. Okay, so I can declare that pi value inside the class as pi equals to 3.141 or 12 by 22 by 7. Suppose 3.141 something or 3.142. Okay, that I can declare and I can use. Okay, but that value only accessible to if you are declaring that my value, pi value, suppose double pi equals to 3.1141. Here double pi equals to 3.141. Okay, so I have declared this inside the method. So that pi value, pi, this variable only visible inside that method till that method is inside or object is alive. I mean subject is in object created and using our program, and till our program terminates. Let's say an example, till our program terminates, that is accessible to inside that value only if you declare like this. So what will you do? I will do inside class also I can declare. Okay, so simply I double pi and no SS only. Then also that pi value is just only visible, or that's its scope is till that class. Okay, you cannot access without instantiating that object. Suppose inside class circle I have defined double pi is equal to 3.141. So how to get this value, pi value? How to get this value? You will create an object. First of all, you will create a object circle is equal to new circle. Okay, is it right? This part of already shown, like student class we have created instant. Then I will call circle dot pi. Am I right? Circle dot pi. So this will get the value 3.141. Without instantiating you cannot create this, but till that program or that object is inside the runtime, so it will give the value. In some cases this value we need in some other class. Okay, so how do you create this variable or this data without instantiating this pi object, like using this keyword? So for that you will use static variable. Okay, so once you declare like static double pi, now how do you declare? Inside main method you can call circle class dot pi. You don't have to declare this create an object. Okay, so this you can create. Now I will use this in other class. I will declare, I will give public specifier, then I can use in other subclass or other packages also. You will see this example. Okay, so first of all I will define this circle class. Inside that I have to define public static double pi, that will be 3.141, and then without instantiating that object in other class, if I need this value, I will import this class, and then I will simply write circle dot pi. Okay, it will return simply this value without writing this circle equal to new circle. The instant object I can, so this I can directly access the class variable. Okay, this is one advantage of this one. Okay, and similarly if I declare class method by find static find area, and you will declare suppose double or float radius. Okay, I will declare the method. Then I have, how do I call this method? Class name, that is circle dot find area, then I will pass some radius value like suppose 20.0 f. Okay, so these are the two examples how do you call a static method and how do you call a variable or get the variable using static data. Okay, this and this. Okay, so this part who were not able to understand, please raise your hand. Definitely you will see more example. Okay, so I will try to execute this on ID also. Okay, but today's just theory, you just keep in mind. Okay, so this is another static method invocation. Okay, so till now I have, okay, so next is, okay, you will see inheritance later part. So let's see this one. Till static method invocation. Yes, now one coming to our this main method. Now how do we write those method? Public, so forget about those specifier for the time being. Public, then static void. Okay, because it returns nothing, so that's why we are using void keyword, and main method we are passing arguments. So you try to run that. So how do you declare that main method? How do you declare that main method? Just I am writing here. Suppose I am creating a qn1 question1 class. So dot main. Because since this is a string method, you don't have to instantiate the object or create an object. I can simply call qn1 dot main. Okay, in similar way those are those methods in invoked. So those are other thing, but that also you can invoke like this qn1 dot main. Okay, so now, okay, so you will let us see this thing. So how do you see this thing and check? Okay, I will give you example. Okay, let us see how to define those things. Okay, so now let me share my ID. Okay, so we'll see two these examples. Okay, and then we will have some doubt clearing thing. Then we will stop our class. Okay, let us share my Eclipse ID. Okay, so now we can see we have declared two. Okay, so we have declared static variable. Okay, and class static variable class. I will show you how to create this class. And inside that I have declared two values, pi value and square 2 sq2 variable. So how do you declare? Okay, Okay, so here I have defined a class, public class static variable. Okay, and then I have declared these two float value, sorry, one float value, one integer value as static value. Okay, these are static data. So how do you access the data? How can you declare? Simply class name, the static variable, dot py value, dot sq2, just like you are using math dot py or math dot any other constant like exponential e value. Okay, so I have declared here as value 3.142 as float value. So I have created in this package lab12, and another package I have created. Yes, so I will import that class. Okay, as static variable, that class, and inside the main method, this is a different class. Okay, inside that I want to print out variable value. So how do you define, how do you declare? Class name, no need to instantiate, or that you will declare static variable equals to new sp new static variable. Okay, you can call, but no need to declare the subject. Then now I'll get sb dot py value. Instead of this, I can simply write static variable dot py value, static variable, and then dot sq2, that is int value. So this will be printed. Let's run this and we'll stop to this class. Any doubt you can ask, and then we'll see more example using this object methods, and we will do obviously assignments. And yes, one more thing I want to cover, that SS specifier for public, protected, for friendly, all these things will private. We'll see one by one. Okay, so let's run this and simply, and yes, okay. So I today's proceed. And yes, so one more thing we have left, static method. We'll see. Okay, so this also, yes, our pi value is 3.142 and our square value of 2 is 4. Okay, so this thing we can use this one. Okay, similarly, static method. So how do you write those? You try to do this on your ID also, and yes. So how do you write? Import to, that's a lab 11. Import. I think this will clear return variable. Y value into d, sorry, diameter. Okay, so now I can write here system dot out dot print ln reach find parameter into 20. Okay, so we can write this way, and you can invoke that value also. How do you write? So I will tell you. Parameter is static method dot and parameter circle. That's it. Okay, class name dot static method. Okay, no need to call this. Okay, so in this way we can write that, and you try to run. Okay, so to start, you just today you try create a student class with all your details, roll number, roll number, your subject ID. You can give 2 3 some more subjects. Okay, so this thing, this not unlocking. Okay, so you create two more, till you can get 5 subjects, subject ID 1, subject ID 2, subject 3, 4 to 5 subject ID, create a roll number, create name, and you declare student class. Then you try to get 2 methods, at least 2 methods you try to get student detail, get subject detail, and you write those method, and inside you create another class, and inside that, you inside the main method, you try to invoke that object methods. You tried this exercise in today's class, and I have already shown how to invoke static method variables, and we will see in the next class more examples and more exercise, and we will try to solve other problems also. For some questions, I will share it today. Please go through those questions, and yes, perimeter is 62.84. Okay, so 1.414 into 20, then perimeter is 20. So similarly, you can call. So the syntax, you write how to invoke this method, static method, and creating object also, how to create a invoke method. You already know. So okay, so if any doubt, just ask for today's class doubt, or you go through that. I will share the all the questions, exercise questions for last class, loop iteration. Those I will share the exercise, some questions. Go through that. We will discuss in this next class. Okay. So any doubt? Any doubt till now? Any doubt? Please post your. You can post your query also. On the chat box, you can write also. Please raise your hand. Those who are having doubt. I am sharing the questions for previous class. Those things we will discuss. Questions. Okay, then we'll stop here and we'll see in the next class. Thank you all.